6 decades and 27 outstanding movies later, the James Bond franchise has established itself as spy film royalty. Based on the book series of the same name that was created by novelist Ian Fleming, the Bond films follow the life of James Bond, aka Agent 007, as he embarks on mission after mission to save the world. While all James Bond movies are absolutely fantastic, we can all agree that there are a few that are simply elite. Join FlickFix as we take a look at the top 5 James Bond movies to ever grace our screens. Number 5. Goldeneye. Depending on whom you ask, Pierce Brosnan is either the best actor to play the role of the fictional MI6 agent James Bond, or one of the best.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Ksenia Sergeyevna Onatop.
So it's only fitting that his debut into the series earns a spot in the James Bond Movie Hall of Fame. Despite being the 17th film in the series, Goldeneye signified a lot of firsts, not just for Pierce Brosnan, but for the entire James Bond movie franchise.
Who's that?
The next call.
It was the first film in the series not to utilize any story elements from any of Ian Fleming's James Bond spy novels, opting instead to base the film on a story conceived by Michael France and a team of other writers. In addition to that, Goldeneye was also the first James Bond film not produced by Albert R. Broccoli, as well as the first James Bond film to cast a female actress in the role of M. Released in 1995, after a 6-year hiatus caused by legal disputes, the spy film follows Agent Bond as he fights to prevent a vengeful ex-MI6 agent from using a satellite weapon against London to cause a global financial meltdown. In the months that followed, Goldeneye went on to perform significantly better than the previous James Bond films that starred Timothy Dalton as James Bond by grossing a whopping $350 million worldwide.
For England, James? No. For me.
Number 4. Goldfinger. Being the first blockbuster in the entire James Bond franchise, as well as the first James Bond movie to win an Oscar, it's safe to say that Goldfinger is a pace-setter in more ways than one. Based on Ian Fleming's 1959 book of the same title, the Goldfinger movie starts out with Agent 007, played by Sean Connery.
Who are you?
Bond. James Bond.
The pioneer James Bond actor looking into gold smuggling activities by gold magnate Auric Goldfinger.
But there are undoubtedly others.
You'll draw it from Q branch for the rest of your equipment in the morning.
Of course, sir.
In a shocking twist of events, Bond unravels an even bigger mystery when he uncovers Goldfinger's plans to contaminate the United States bullion depository at Fort Knox. Upon its release in 1964, Goldfinger was marketed as the film in the franchise where James Bond comes to focus, and truer words have never been spoken. To this day, certain elements that were introduced to the Bond franchise in this film, such as tongue-in-cheek humor and the use of high-level technology and gadgets by Bond, continue to be part and parcel of the series. In a nutshell, Goldfinger was a success through and through, so much that in less than 2 weeks, the movie recouped its budget before going on to gross over $120 million worldwide in the years that followed. Number 3. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. The only thing better than an action-packed James Bond movie is an action-packed James Bond movie that has romance thrown into the mix, and the Bond film On Her Majesty's Secret Service is proof of this. Prior to its release, On Her Majesty's Secret Service garnered the attention of the general public.
Good morning. My name's Bond. James Bond.
Don't move, Mr. Bond.
Because George Lazenby, the actor set to play Bond following Sean Connery's retirement, was a model with a lot of potential and no prior acting experience.
Resignation from what?
Her Majesty's Secret Service. And kindly present us that monument in there.
While one school of thought believed that the role of James Bond should be assigned to a seasoned actor with years of experience under his belt, others believed that George should be given a chance to prove himself. Sadly, George never got around to proving himself to his supporters because he ended up playing the role of Bond only once, making his tenure the shortest among the actors in the series. Upon its release in 1969, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, which follows Agent 007 as he battles it out with Blofeld and his Death Angels, all while managing his romantic entanglement with a crime lord's daughter, received mixed reviews. As a result, the movie did not perform as well as its predecessors, but it still managed to be one of the top-performing films of the year. Number 2. From Russia with Love. In the year 2004, Total Film magazine named From Russia with Love the 9th greatest British film of all time, making it the only James Bond film to make the list, and in this video, the British spy film is being named the 2nd best James Bond movie of all time. From Russia with Love is easily one of the best movies to come out of the James Bond franchise, and it's easy to see why.
Come in, come in. Glad to see you. Welcome to Istanbul.
Well, thank you for sending the car, but it does rather tie you in with me.
Being the 2nd movie in the franchise, From Russia with Love saw Sean Connery, the pioneer Bond actor, Terrence Young, the then Bond director, and the rest of the team return to the drawing board to improve on their performances in the first movie. Furthermore, after learning of the success of Dr. No, the first movie in the franchise, United Artists were ready to go all in on the sequel. So much so that they doubled the budget and made provisions for the team to shoot in locations all around the world, thereby setting them up for success.
Will there be anything else, sir?
Well, only this. Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Released in 1963, From Russia with Love picks up right where the first installment in the series Dr. No left off. In the movie, we see the evil crime organization go all out to seek revenge for the death of its operative, Dr. No. In a bid to lay their hands on James Bond, Spectre designs an elaborate plan, one that involves using a Soviet encryption machine called a Lecter, that the British Secret Service are desperate to get a hold of as bait. Following its release, From Russia with Love became a critical and commercial success, grossing over $78 billion worldwide, which is even more mind-blowing when you consider the movie's $2 million budget. Number 1. Casino Royale. If there's one thing all fans of the James Bond series can agree on, it's that Daniel Craig was born to portray the fictional MI6 agent. Upon joining the franchise, Craig did such a fantastic job of reinventing the Bond character that to this day, his debut movie Casino Royale is referred to by many as the best James Bond movie ever made.
Hello?
Mr. White, we need to talk.
Who is this?
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Released in November 2006, Casino Royale tells the story of Bond's first days as a 00 agent who just gained his license to kill. In the movie, Bond is tasked with bankrupting Le Chiffre, a mob banker and terrorist financier, by defeating him in a high-stakes poker game.
$40,500,000 all in.
As soon as it hit the big screen, Casino Royale was tagged as an instant hit. The movie was widely received by critics and the general public alike, which is why it didn't come as much of a surprise when it went on to gross an outstanding $616 million worldwide, thereby becoming the highest-grossing James Bond film until the release of Skyfall in 2012. Now it's time to hear from you. Which James Bond film do you think is the best? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to FlickFix if you haven't already.